Let's just give it a few minutes. We're early,
We are early.
so
Here, I'll get my
yeah, I'm gonna
guide
go.
pulled up.
Sure, you pull your guide up. I'm gonna go grab some water, and I'll be right back. The boys are in here with us too.
Awesome. They need a little stress management as well.
We all need some.
All right.
It's tomorrow at 9 o'clock. We'll be back at 3.
Okay, there we go.
Awesome.
Cool.
I'm back.
I'm just gonna get this pulled up
Cool.
real quick, and
Yeah.
then
We're 5 minutes early. We're good. I was
We
going to
are
let you
early.
know, and everybody that's catching us early now, and I'm going to get us set up on. Actually, I'll get this set up first so we can see the feed.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Awesome. Coolio. What was I doing?
Feed.
Feed. No. I love him, but no. Epic 5.
Grab your water if you're joining us.
That's right. It's a good time to grab your water. And as my mom likes to say, visit Mrs. Jones.
Oh goodness.
There we go.
Okay, did this download?
Am I the one person that's joined?
Yeah, probably.
Is that what that is? You know what happened? I had a really cool
I can't.
stand for the phone, but it disappeared.
It's upstairs.
I
borrowed
I
it.
saw that. Okay, you left me this.
You have all the cool gadgets down here.
I do have all the cool gadgets.
So I borrow them.
You buy me all the cool gadgets, so thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I like this.
How do we go?
And then
back here?
is this? Nope, I'm gonna want to keep it like this. So. Goodness gracious, this is not my way I use this. Okay, there we go. Look at this. How's this gonna work? Can we pull this way?
Cameras.
See what I can do.
Oh,
It's just in frame. I think it's okay. Oh wait, you know what? This might be better.
Hi, Steve. We are live. Yes, thank you.
Steve's like, did you know you're live? We do. This is our very professional setup. So
Behind the scenes.
behind the scenes, perfect. Here we go. We're almost ready, guys. And look, I think we're still going to be early, which is pretty cool. Awesome. Good. You know what's funny?
Fantastic.
First of all, Steve, it's this camera, right?
I
Oh my
think
gosh,
so.
that's going to be hard. Okay.
Mhm.
First of all, Steve, I want to thank you again for joining us yesterday on that interview. I had a great time. I think we've had something like 200 or 300 views of that already, and people already asking questions and chatted about it a little bit more in our private group today. And that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So if you guys didn't get a chance to catch the interview that I was blessed to have with Steve Frazier, Steve and his wife Brenda are EMF specialists, or maybe a better way to say that is EMF disbursement specialists. Is that a good way to say that?
Sure.
And you know, in about 38 minutes, we covered more ground than I even realized that there was to cover. And now I even have more questions. So Steve, I'm going to be reconnecting with you with some other pieces. And in fact, here's what my clients, my private clients, and I were chatting about. This is the proposal. We get some orgonite,
Yeah.
and we get an EMF reader, right, of some sort of EMF reader, and then our dogs say hello, and then maybe I'll put them in the kennel real fast since we have a minute. And our dogs say hello, but then we actually do like a little EMF orgonite like test in real time. I mean, we had people, yeah, perfect. And Steve, I think that'd be great. So I'll coordinate with you on getting some orgonite. We'll get a good EMF reader, and then like in real time, I'll do one of those too. You know, so I think that's pretty awesome.
I saw the interview. It was really
yeah, and we're definitely going to get some
that
orgonite and at least get one. You know, put one everywhere, right? I mean, how many salt lamps do we have in this house?
Right.
No, honestly, how many salt lamps do we have?
Not enough.
Not enough is the answer. It's the same thing with how many essential oil diffusers do we have, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. And yeah, Steve, if you're down around the area, you could certainly visit us sometime. That would be great.
I think we need more than one for just this room.
Yeah, we need more than one for just this guy, right? Yeah, like this area.
You
right
need to
here.
wear one, I think.
I need like organite pendulums like going around me, like all around me. But I'm gonna go put the dogs in the kennel, and then we'll get started. And guys, we'll be right back. So you can take over for just a minute.
Yeah, sounds good, guys. Thanks for joining us. It's Thursday, December 17th, inching closer to the holidays, right? Day by day here. Super excited to be back with you today. Yesterday, we, for our Healthy Holiday Workshop, we actually got up and moved, and I did a HIIT or HIT video for you guys. So you can check that out. Really, I think, this week's all about stress and managing that through the holidays, and something super simple that we have control over is getting up and moving. So we'll talk more about that here today and other ways to manage stress. That's what the topic of the day is. So we'll get started when Dr. B is back, but thank you for joining us we've got Zoom, and then I believe, we're live, and we can see your comments on Facebook as well. So just send over questions, comments, thoughts as we're going. And love to hear from you guys. So awesome. And we got, it's like screen overload here. I'm not used to this setup at all. But you guys ready for the holidays? You can comment. Love to hear where you guys are at. I know out east they got like pummeled with snow, so hopefully everybody's safe and okay out that direction. Got a little snow left here.
Is that me dinging?
Mm-hmm.
I'll turn off my dinging.
That's you dinging.
That's my dinging.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Cool. All right. Now we're officially 1 minute behind.
No, are you kidding
I'm
me?
just kidding.
Cool.
All right. Yeah. So I think we need to hit record because we're going to have this available as
recording.
a series. Oh,
It's
we
already,
might have to cut out some of it then.
That's okay. Natalie takes care of all that.
Okay.
That's why we always keep a millennial on our team so that they can, or what, I don't know, what are they going to call, what, is there another generation after millennials? I mean, obviously there is the post millennials,
Probably.
kind of like Post Malone. We're going to get Post Malone on our team.
Post millennials.
The Post Millennials on our team to make sure that all of the technology is always edited as close to as we can. Robin had a great comment. Oh,
yeah, I asked how everyone's doing with their holidays.
Oh, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I said we're inching closer and closer to them, and enjoy wrapping your gifts today.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I think we'll get started officially.
Absolutely.
Then. Great. Oh,
there we go. That's what we want.
All right. Awesome, guys.
Sorry about this guy being right in the way of the camera, guys, but there's just the way it is. And also this guy being right in the way of the camera as well. So that's just what we have.
Something over here to balance.
I know if we had something to balance it out, more technology over there. just for Steve Frazier,
Yeah,
just so that
right.
we have to get more organized. I'm going to just keep surrounding ourselves with more and more wireless technology. I'm so sorry I took over.
That's okay.
By all
Anyways,
means.
you had some really cool interviews yesterday, so you have to check those out. But we're going to jump right in today. Thank you for joining us. We're going to be talking about stress management through the holidays. Big topic. Probably can't cover all of what we could or need to in an hour, right? But we're happy you're here and got some good stuff for you. So, yeah, I don't even know where to begin. I have some things I do want to chat about here. But I think, yeah, well, first of all, if you have any questions, thoughts, or comments, let us know how you're handling the stress of this year. I think, of course, everything is just compounded this year, right, with COVID, and I'm not sure what, holiday gatherings are going to look like. Just a lot of new territory for us this year. So,
and I think
extra stress.
not only extra stress, but I think not only holiday gatherings, but also I think the lack of holiday gatherings has been really stressful.
I think a lot of
people,
alone.
humans are creatures of habit, right? I mean, most animals
Yeah.
are creatures of habit, and we are animals, whether or not we're intelligent animals, is what they say.
Most days.
Yeah, no, I can't speak for myself there, and in the peanut gallery can not necessarily speak either. But no, I mean, we're creatures of habit, and what happens, I think, a lot of times is that our rhythms get thrown off, and I think that 2020 COVID reasons has really thrown off people's rhythms.
Ultimate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's been a really big challenge. Not only is our rhythm thrown off, but no matter how we want to cut it, guys, we're a little bit more isolated, right? Some of us a lot more isolated. And my ADHD is super high right now, so I'm going to try to just look at comments once in a while, but I see things coming through, so I'm going to just
we got over here.
Yeah, I'm going to try to stay focused, guys. My ADHD is not going to get the best of me, but nonetheless, when we're thrown off, it's already rough. But then if we're more isolated, we start to feel more alone. Our rhythm is off, and we start to feel that angsty feeling that something's wrong. And we can't quite put our finger on it because it's not necessarily like something that's, tangible. It's not like this thing is wrong or that thing that happened, it's this growing sense of disconnection.
Sure.
It's this growing sense of the rhythm. It's like, to a certain extent, we all want to get back to normal, but I also think that a lot of us weren't happy with normal anyway. So what I keep saying is, let's get back to I also don't want to say the new normal, because I don't want to imply that we should wear masks for the rest of our lives. I want to get back to a better normal, whatever that better normal is. I just want to be on the front end of that and helping all of us together create that world that we want it to be. But nonetheless, back to stress management. A lot of this has led to people not getting together for the holidays.
Yeah. And I think the holidays, are a time to be together, and we're not getting that. I think, it's one of those things, like cabin fever was there before we even hit winter. And now it's just like, next level. Thank heavens for, hopefully you guys are getting connected through Zoom and online. And
through the technology.
I love seeing even your mom using Zoom, and I think we're all getting more comfortable.
She got mad at me yesterday because I was saying she's almost 88, and she reminded me that she's almost 87. So
86?
No, she is 86. She's almost 87. Right. So I added a year on, and I was corrected yesterday. And of course she was really cute about it. She said, she just nonchalantly, we were just sitting there and she was going through this paper. She goes, "By the way, I'm not almost 88. I'm 86 years old." And I was like, "All right, Mom." Tick, tick, tick. At any rate, I was really, my family's not getting together, and we didn't get together for Thanksgiving. Your family's not getting together, at least in the normal way.
Not in the normal,
not in the normal way.
Events are canceled. I mean, it's just, been a year.
It's been a year for sure. And that adds stress.
Yeah. So I think we're just adding stress. Let's talk about
solutions.
What we can do here.
Let's talk about solutions.
Talk about solutions and what we can do.
Actually, can I just comment on that?
I know people are missing their grandkids, and
I know.
My heart's breaking.
And I like Melissa Barnhill, Something Over Nothing is what I find myself going back to. Wait, check it out.
Yeah.
Check it out. I have a Post-it note here. Something Over Nothing. It's backwards, I know, but I keep a few things here. I also have Find a Stable Datum. When everything seems chaotic, find something. And that's what I was just going to say before we even get rolling, because this isn't part of our SOME, SOME that I'm sure we'll talk about. Finding a stable datum, find something that's stable when everything seems chaotic, when things seem out of control, or when things seem irregular. Find something that's real. I mean, even if it's just, this is a pen, it's a real thing. I've got it in my hand. I can set it down, I can pick it up, and I'm in control of this pen. You know, it's kind of,
otherwise you get lost in like, it becomes like a whirlwind of these false
like, what should I do?
What realities?
Yeah.
It's just like, keep your feet on the floor, buy something over nothing.
Absolutely.
So I love that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Melissa.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you. I love that.
I love that he has pink sticky notes all over.
I do. I have to share this one. This was actually shared to me by Dr. Val Prisakari yesterday. He said, if doctors are no longer, if they're not practicing functional medicine, basically, that they are now practicing with willful ignorance and almost negligence. I mean, watch that interview from yesterday too. So I wrote on here, no willful ignorance, just to remind myself that, you know, science is never settled. You know, the history of science is most people being wrong about most things most of the time, and that it's always a discussion. They used to think the earth was flat.
Right.
You know, maybe it is flat. Maybe we used to think the earth was round. I don't know. I mean, you know, I've never left the planet. I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure that it's round. But nonetheless, interesting stuff there. Creating routine. And that's what I was going to say about finding a stable datum. Just to kind of give Rachel a segue, find a stable datum, something over nothing. Here's what I would find. And this is what I've tried to find something that gives you routine. Find something that absolutely gives you some structure. And I absolutely would say the one thing that I would recommend, because it's something that we all have control over, is wake up at the same time every day.
That's good.
You know, that puts your body into a physiological routine. We go into what's called a circadian rhythm, a diurnal pattern, a light dark pattern. And, you know, we have alarms. My alarm is now set for 5:30 every day. Yours is 5:45. And, you know, we're up and at 'em, usually even a little bit earlier than that. I tend to wake up between 5 and 5:15, and I just get up. You tend to get up when I get up, so that basically our alarms are going off after we're already out of bed, which is awesome. And that's because we're so in the routine of doing it every single day, guys. And I want to let you know what every single day means.
It takes time. I am not a morning person, so slowly but surely I'm getting there. And it's been good.
And I'm proud of you, because she's not a morning person, but she committed to it, you know, and she wanted to level up. And let's talk about it. You wanted to level up because you wanted to help decrease your stress and your pressure and your noise, and you needed a little bit more time in the morning to feel organized for the day. So part of your reducing stress was getting up a little bit earlier.
Yeah. I mean, that was a huge topic I wanted to touch on today.
Well, there you go.
Just threw it out there. Good. Yeah, getting up and having
a
morning routine.
We have it scripted.
Totally.
Wait, here's our script. You ready? That's it. SOME. That's my script right there.
No, mine's cooler, but I'll wait a minute here.
Ahead.
Anyways, morning routine is key, and actually evening too. So, you know, what we do in the morning, how we start our day is like gonna set up the tone for the entire rest of the day. So if you don't, you know, one thing we work with our clients on is setting those up. And he's messaging people over here. And really, like, even you got to write it out, just make it work for you. It should include hydration. I think a big thing that, you know, is missing from a lot of people's morning routines, because it's one of those things, just like get up and start do. And we're just become these like human doings and not human beings.
What?
Whoa. Yeah. So like get up and be. So like set your intentions for the day, write out, you know, what's my day going to look like? How do I want to feel? You know, and then spend a little time in gratitude and thankfulness. Like Melissa said, something over nothing. Like we all have something, right? So we can just be thankful for that, write it out, or however it works for you. And the other thing too, that it's like our word for 2021 is grace. And so if it's a bad morning or you don't feel great or all of that, you know, just give yourself some grace to be like, okay, well, I don't feel great today, but I'm still going to do what I can. And, you know, keep going forward.
Absolutely. You know, and our word for 2020, by the way, was, wait for it, drum roll, Simplicity. I love that on
I'm
January.
gonna frame that. I think.
I love that our word for 2020 was simplicity. I really love that. And Melissa said, for the first time ever, I take 2 hours just for my self-care in the morning. Yeah. 4:30 before anyone else is up. I do it every day, no matter what. And it's life-changing. And it is. It's totally life-changing.
It's the time of your life that you never knew you were missing until you
Until you have
back,
it, right? My dad used to wake up at 4:30. He was up and going by 4:30 in the morning. And I always thought he was nuts because he did have a retail store, and he was, would leave for work at about 7 a.m. and open by 7:30 and, all that kind of jazz. But really, I thought he was nuts for getting up that early. Like if I had to be, as a teenager, if I had to be somewhere by 7:30, I would probably woken up at 7:10, I did that through college. What am I talking about? And I think that when you finally realize that time in the morning is so magical, and when you really start leaning into it, even though it's hard, guys, when you first start shifting your pattern, it gets really hard for some people. When you really commit to it and you do it, not even for too long, all of a sudden you look forward to it. And you realize, like she said, it's that gift to yourself that you didn't even know that you were missing. And Melissa said it's life-saving. I totally agree. It's life-changing for sure. And I would say definitely life.
Tip for making mornings easier and starting to get to that place where you enjoy them. Actually, our chiropractor that we work with does this too. But before you go to bed, you tell yourself that you love 5 a.m. or whatever time you want to get up.
I love 5 a.m.
He says say it 108 times. I don't know. That's a thing, apparently. I don't know if I'll ever get there, but before you go to bed, already getting even your next morning, like intentions of getting up, I think can be.
I think what's funny is
helpful.
He said say I love 5 a.m. 108 times and then you'll love it. And Rachel said, I must be only saying it 105.
I'm not 100% there yet, but
you love
you guys are all converting me, so thank you.
No, it's great.
Awesome. Yeah. Cool. We've got some people here, which is great. So so
are you sharing
today's
screen?
About morning and evening routines.
Did you want to share the screen?
Should I go back?
Yeah, I would share the screen.
Okay, I'm gonna share the screen.
Perfect.
All right. This is a guide that you guys will have access to as well. But
is this going to be in the files to download?
Yeah. Yep. Okay. And some of these are clickable links. So there's a template if you guys want to work on your morning and evening routine. Really, it's just you can do it on a piece of paper, but let you list that out. So I wanted to chat about some things to be sure to include in your morning or evening or sometime in your day routine. Our clients hear this a lot. You came up with it. Yeah. I think. I don't know when and how, but
I don't know either. It was a gift from above. I'm telling you, it just popped in my head and it made sense.
Yeah. So
actually, I'll tell you, we're talking about some, right?
Yeah.
Everyone needs some. That was my notes. SOME, remember? So everybody needs some stress reduction every day. And basically the way this came into fruition, I actually was thinking about what in the published literature shows that it measurably improves people's affect and mood, right? What reduces stress, what reduces pressure, noise, worry, what helps insomnia. And really, I started to have a very specific question. If we started looking at people that are prescribed medications for anxieties, depressions, et cetera, I'm not saying don't take these, just hear me out. There have been studies shown like, okay, we're going to have these people take medicines. These people this other group take placebo, and this group over here are going to get X number of minutes of sunlight each day, or do exercise, or meditate, or I think they like have sex or what. There's like a bunch of stuff that was studied, and not in one study, like hundreds of studies, right? And it came down to it that they all showed roughly, this isn't quite exactly perfect, right? Nothing in science is, but at about from the onset, at about 4 weeks, folks that were taking the pills mostly were doing better, mostly. But at 13 weeks, I don't know why not 12, but at 13 weeks, overall, the folks on the placebo group and the folks the folks in the placebo group were doing as well as the folks that were taking medications.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when you hear things like, Zoloft is no better than a placebo, or the other way that you hear it is like, well, I heard St. John's wort helps, as a natural medicine, but I've heard it's no better than a placebo. Hey, guess what? A lot of the drugs, the majority of the drugs, especially psychiatric drugs, are no better than a placebo at 13 weeks. But then they took this other group that were doing sunlight or oxytocin or meditation, mindfulness, deep breathing, journaling, gratitudes, prayer, right? Exercising in different ways. And they looked at them at 13 weeks and their outcome measurements. And they were using things like the Beck's Depression Index, also called the BDI. And there's other outcome measurements that they can use here.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing phenomenally better. But here's where it gets super weird and awesome. At that 13-week mark, they discontinued the drugs and discontinued the studies, right? These are all kind of set around the same 13-week mark. And after they discontinued the drugs, obviously, quite frankly, people got worse, right? When they discontinued the placebos, people got worse, right? And when they told people, you're not in the study anymore, you don't have to do the sunlight or the oxytocin or the meditation or the breathing or the gratitudes or the prayer or the exercise, whatever, right? Because they've been doing it for 13 weeks, they had found that it helped them and they just kept doing it anyway. So that at 26 weeks, those people, those people were doing phenomenally better. Mm-hmm. Of course, because they just kept it up, because they've developed a new habit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
I did not know this whole backstory.
So that's where all of this came from. I literally made a list of everything that I could come up with that showed at 13 weeks better than any drug that's out there for the majority of psychiatric disorders, meaning depression, anxiety, and other affective mood disorders, right? That's what we're talking about.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, that's my job.
I know.
Mr. Fantastic.
And you boil it all down in I totally got that. So that's cool. So it all came down to everyone needs some. Yeah, stress reduction every day. So, we tell our clients to get in at least 20 minutes for yourself, if not more. Melissa's got 2 hours in the morning of time for herself. So that's awesome.
Keep talking.
And so, basically I thought we could go through these, talk about what they mean and what you can do to incorporate them. So, first and foremost, sunlight. Welcome to Iowa, winter in Iowa. Sunlight. There's tons of science on what it can do for your overall mood, lowering stress. Well, vitamin D, of course, too. All those pieces. And
you can have too much.
Of course.
You can
overdo it.
Yeah.
Don't overdo it.
Don't overdo it. I'm struggling. Oh, Michael Hollick. I was struggling with his name. Michael Hollick is known as Sunshine Doctor.
Oh, yeah.
And this is exactly what he says for sunlight. And this is how to measure it. He says 20 minutes daily. Yep. With basically as fully exposed as possible, with the exception of your hat. You have to be wearing a hat, cover your ears, and ideally like the top parts of your body, right? But basically lower torso, I don't know about the nether regions, Speedos, I guess, will be nice. So let your arms and your legs. And he said for about 20 minutes with and he is by the way, a dermatologist and a very well-respected, medical doctor. And he said, and he's also known as Dr. Sunshine, 20 minutes a day is what we need, 20 minutes a day. Yeah. But more than that, we start to get into that sun might cause some skin cancer type of stuff. And that's why we cover these areas, because we're prone to cancers in these types of areas, especially on the face and around the ears. So that's where that came from. But yeah, Michael Hollick, look him up, Sunshine Doctor.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that somebody who goes by that.
Yeah. I think it's Dr. Sunshine. I screwed it up.
We'll chat here in a minute too about gadgets and gizmos and things you can do in the winter.
Yvonne, Yvonne says sunlight's her drug of choice. Me too. And man, usually Rachel and I try to hit, we're in Iowa. We try to hit some type of nice beach somewhere at least once a year. And we have had zero luck this year, and probably won't.
I gotta refill that prescription.
Yeah, we got to go refill our prescription. That's right. That's right.
So either in the morning or afternoon or whatever you can get out and get some sun in, or like I said, we'll chat about some other ways to do that here. That's one way to lower your stress. And
I mean, do you want me to
Yeah.
comment on that?
No,
Like
go ahead.
one thing right now? Should we just do that? We
Sure.
cover one and then talk about
Oh, that's
gas
fine.
bills and
Yeah.
gadgets.
Yeah.
Oh, one thing I was going to say that you can do is just surround yourself with full spectrum lights. It's not quite the same as like, light source UV from the sun, but just if you change out your light bulbs to full spectrum lights, I know that they're expensive. I get it. They're like $10 a bulb, right? And they burn out, right? But if you get a full spectrum, like a plant light is what we're talking about,
Right.
a full spectrum light, and you have it at least in strategic areas, maybe in your bedroom by your bed, so that when you wake up in the morning, turn that on, your brain starts to think, oh, it's a full spectrum light, the sun is on. So like here in
Right.
Iowa in the morning when we get up, it's dark. It's like
Right.
pitch black. And especially where we live, there are no street lights. There's no porch lights. I mean, it is black. We're in the country. And it's nice to have that full spectrum light first thing in the morning in your workspace, in your work environment, have that. And that will help stimulate the photoreceptors on your retina, help stimulate the photoreceptors on the skin that is exposed.
Mhm.
It's probably not going to, massively release vitamin D, which is also helps with anxiety, helps with stress, and helps with preventing viral infections like COVID.
Mhm.
But lots of benefits to vitamin D. But nonetheless, that's one way to do it. And you
Mhm.
don't have to change everything out in the whole house, right? You could do it in very strategic areas.
Yeah.
There's even sunrise alarm clocks, right?
Yeah.
That you can sit by your bed, and it's basically, usually they look like a crystal ball, except that it's like a opaque ball, and there's a full spectrum light inside, and you set the alarm, and then what happens is about a half an hour before your alarm goes off, the light starts to turn on, and then by the time your alarm goes off, it's full brightness, right? So you're waking up to full spectrum light like we would be waking up to the sun. I love that. I have had 2 of those in my life, and both of those were broken, one by kids, one by dogs. So we don't have one right now. And maybe that would be,
Yeah.
that might be a nice Christmas gift
I know. I was just thinking
for
that.
somebody that has a,
We got enough lights in here.
got-
Like,
yeah,
goodness.
or we just sleep right here and have all
Yeah.
the lights turned on all at once.
Yeah. So Melissa has a great question. So we'll go there.
Yeah, let's go there.
What are your thoughts on the benefits of cold showers and Wim Hof type cold therapy for health and wellness?
Go ahead.
I love the guy. Wim Hof is fantastic. And
We
I
do.
think
We
there's
love
a
Wim
lot
Hof.
of, yeah.
We love Wim Hof.
Yeah.
How could you not? And if you guys aren't following Wim Hof, definitely do. If you want a quick and dirty treatise on it, I love Goop Labs. It's Gwyneth
Oh, yeah.
Paltrow's show
Mhm.
on Netflix. She does a whole episode on Wim Hof and the breathing method and the cold, jumping into the ice cold.
Yeah. Her
wherever-
team goes and does it.
I don't remember where they are when they're doing that, but nonetheless, jumping into the
Mm-hmm.
ice cold water, like literally ice cold water, and doing some breathing techniques. But it's really cool. Goop Labs on Netflix. I highly recommend that series. There's
Yeah.
only like 4 or 5 episodes.
I think it's one of those things, it has a lot of good benefits for the immune system,
Yep. Hormones,
hormones.
neurology.
I think it's like one of
Yeah.
these things as humans, we've just gotten away from, like that used to be a norm and now we can have hot water. So why
But
would you ever want
Let's go
cold?
back to functional anthropology,
Okay.
right? Because
we go.
I would say that she's right, that we've gotten away from it because of convenience,
Sure.
right? We didn't have heating and cold, right?
Mhm.
And we also didn't have go down to the grocery store and buy whatever you want 24/7, right? Or even better, the gas station, right? 24/7,
Yeah.
although they don't have everything that you want. So, if you wanted some food, and especially if you were around water, which is how humans developed, we had to have a lot of technology to move inland, right? We would go out into that water and get that fish.
Mhm.
And that water, I mean, and when do fish bite? First thing in the morning,
Right.
So we would get out in that water and catch that fish, right?
Mhm.
And before we had like fishing lines, we'd have to catch and spear that fish, and that's what we did. And then we had to figure out how to store, food. So we had to find really cold places. We would find, caves with little pools in it, and we would hopefully find areas of ice, and we'd have
Mhm.
to put our food there to keep it cold. And we would have to get up in the morning and go get that food. Right. So I think that some of this developed functionally, and then we forgot about it. And then, Wim Hof shows up and is like, hey, everybody, we screwed something up with all of our conveniences. Let's
Mhm.
go back to being a little bit more primal. Right. So his, primal breathing.
The breathing, you got to breathe for sure.
Absolutely.
And if you are going to implement it, do it slowly, right? You can do 30 seconds cold shower, either beginning or I don't know in the beginning which is better, but
And you got to be careful. I mean, Robin had a good point. When I get into icy water, she says I hyperventilate. And yeah, you sure can. And he talks about that. Like I said, that Goop Labs is really awesome about this because he talks a lot about that. He talks a lot about preparing your body and how to prepare it with breathing and how to do, well, I would call it combat breathing. You know, I would call it combat breathing, but basically when you get in the water. And speaking of breathing and Wim Hof, on my one of our upcoming episodes of the podcast that's just getting launched, we have Shane Saunders, who is an internationally recognized, I love this, executive breathing coach. This is all this guy does. He gets flown around to Fortune 500 companies and executives and then sits with them and teaches them how to breathe again.
We've forgotten how to do that.
Because we've forgotten how to breathe. So, he teaches belly breathing and combat breathing and stress breathing and all, square breathing and rectangular breathing and triangle breathing and all this stuff. I love Shane. He's a good friend of ours. And I had him scheduled, I can't remember, in February, and he got a hold of me. He's like, hey, brother. Oh, by the way, I can't do his accent. He's in Australia. Yeah, he's in Australia. He's like, hey, brother, I'm willing to meet with you at the time, but it's 4 a.m. here in Australia. Is there any way we can make that 6 a.m. in Australia? And I almost said, get up and jump in the water.
Right.
But no, we're going to meet.
Yeah.
We're going to meet.
He's great. And you should follow him on social media.
Yeah,
too.
Breathe Me.
Breathe Me.
BreatheMe.com. Breathe Me is the group, like Breathe, BREATHEME. Find him at Shane Saunders. He's my friend. So look at my friends and you'll be able to track him down.
But he does the cold water plunges. I think his whole family does.
Oh yeah. His wife and kids and everybody.
Like 7-year-old daughter. So, yeah, awesome. Cool. Thanks for that. That was fun.
And the other thing, did you have anything else? I have one more thing to say about that.
No, go ahead.
About cold plunges. So one of our friends, Dan Bolton, who's also in New Zealand. I'm telling you guys, I went to school with a ton of Aussies and Kiwis. I'm telling you, I did. I spent a lot of time with people from New Zealand and Australia when I was going through my first medical training. And here's the deal. These guys can party like there's no other and somehow do really well in their classes. They're brilliant and they're partiers. I can't keep up with them. But Dan Bolton had a really great idea. You got to be careful about this, okay? So I'm not recommending this to anybody. I'm saying what he did and it works for him. And we haven't tried it, so I don't have personal experience. He bought essentially a deep freeze, right? Plugged it in his garage, loaded it with, I don't know if it was salt water or I think it was some kind of salt water. So it wouldn't freeze all the way. Closed it down and got it to whatever degree it was. I don't remember what it was, but not solid ice, but salt water, but ice cold, right? And then he just gets in it. He keeps the lid open when he's in it. Because listen, guys, you don't want it to fall and then get, die in an icy tomb. That would be horrible. And I haven't practiced this, but he said it's awesome. So he has his own ice bath right in his garage. And I told Rachel, I'm like, that's not a bad idea. So I'll keep you posted. It has not been approved by my boss, but at any rate.
Yeah, no, I think there's all along the spectrum, you can get benefits there. And I would say just don't dive right in with that
Take
one.
it slowly.
So yeah.
I'm not there, guys. I like nice warm to hot water, and that's where I am. I like my breathing techniques, but I am not, I have not made the plunge, so to speak.
The polar plunge.
The polar plunge.
Yep. All right. So next up we have oxytocin stimulation. So oxytocin is brain chemical.
Well, it's actually, I'd say it's a hormone. Yeah.
Better way to put it. Released when
we feel good.
You feel good, right? It's like the love.
Yeah, it's the love hormone. It's a love hormone, right?
Oh, yeah. So,
and it's more common, like it relaxes the body. We have a drug called Pitocin that we give pregnant women when they're having a hard time getting their cervix and uterus to relax to have that baby. So a lot of times they'll give them Pitocin, which is synthetic oxytocin, but it relaxes the body, right? It relaxes the body so much that, a baby this big around can come out of, a much smaller space, right?
Sure.
So I won't be too graphic.
Thank you for that.
But oxytocin is released.
Yeah, when we're sex.
Yeah, and orgasm for sure.
An orgasm, but also with just cuddling basically and being near
people
and pets and shut up. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. But you can just be with people that you love. You could go walk your dog. You could just be playing with your kids. I mean, anything really that brings joy
Right.
releases oxytocin, right? So some of the things that we don't think about that release oxytocin are, what's that? Is it Finding Happiness? Is that the documentary I'm thinking of?
It's just called Happy.
It's just called Happy. Sorry, there's a great documentary called Happy, and they came up with 3 things that basically bring joy. So any of these 3 things are going to release oxytocin, right?
Mhm.
Number 1, community, like we said, being near people that we care about and love and appreciate being with, right? Number 2, philanthropy or giving. Just giving time, energy, money, stuff, like giving it purely away brings oxytocin into your body, right? It's the whole Abe Lincoln had an argument that there is no such thing as a selfless action, because at a bare minimum, just by doing it, we receive joy by doing it, right? And so, I mean, it's a decent argument. There's no such thing as a selfless act. That's the Abe Lincoln had that argument. And let's see, community, philanthropy, and then also personal growth. So learning something new. So this is kind of weird. Rachel is learning guitar right now. I am her master guitar, instructor. Let me explain this. I can't read guitar music, but I sort of know how to play guitar, and you sort of know how to read music pretty well from playing flute. I know how to read music from playing piano. I'm self-taught by guitar. So we're combining all of our skills and bringing Rachel up to speed to be the lead guitarist in our upcoming band. I'm going to be the rhythm. You're going to be the lead guitarist. All we need is a singer, a drummer, and I mean,
lots of help.
Maybe a flautist, so that we could pick up where Jethro Tull left off, But nonetheless, not for those of you that got my Jethro Tull joke. Thank you. That ages me a little bit, but oxytocin, nonetheless. Awesome. Robin says she's going to sing backup and play saxophone.
Oh, nice.
Robin, you're already in. You committed. It's in writing, and it's a legally binding contract.
Now we're going jazz.
Yeah. So, all right. Meditation. And let's see. Melissa had a question about meditation and a headband. Right. She said, how often use your meditation headband? Let's talk about M for meditation.
Yeah.
Before we get to the headband.
So M, meditation. We also say mindfulness, deep breathing.
We're going to get to this.
Thank you. Prayer, Steve mentioned.
Yeah.
Basically just.
And I just want to say too, the word meditation, my mom had an issue with it. She was like, no, let's just call it prayer. And I said, they use the word meditation in the Bible. And she looked at me and I said, let the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. Right? I mean, meditation just means, we looked it up. It just means thinking about something. That's really all that it meant, is just thinking about something. And again, I think that we need to, Jim Chester would say, and he's on this call, I think that he would say, we need to do more than think. But sometimes we need to be before we think, before we do. So again, we need to be human beings first. But nonetheless, the M stands for meditation, mindfulness, deep breathing, journaling, gratitudes, prayer.
Basically getting what's in here
what's in here out in some way. And evidently, according to Dr. Dylan Hammis, doing it 108 times, and he said that that's why there's 108 prayer beads, because it's some magical number. I don't know if it is. I'm going to have to look that up. I'm going to fact check that. But go to this headband. We talked about technology, right? I have no technology for oxytocin, by the way. Right?
Not really. No.
We're done.
We're not.
We're done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways.
We have no appropriate technology to talk about for oxytocin. We're just gonna put a pin in that and move on.
Yeah.
But we do have technology for meditation, and I love it. This is called a Muse device. There's a picture of Rachel online on the Choose Muse ambassadors. Just to let you guys know, anytime that we're mentioning products, we're not getting paid to mention these. We're not making money off of me saying like, hey, go get this thing. But here it is. Boy, here it is.
Unboxing it.
Yep. We're unboxing it right now. This is a little meditation device. Do you mind wearing it?
No, it's fine.
Do you want me to wear it? No.
Keep your hat on.
Put my hat on.
Just take this thing off.
Okay. Let's take that
Anyways.
off. There we go. You don't need that piece. So you put this thing on. There's a sensor. Show them on the inside. There's a sensor. This thing on the inside has to come in contact with your skin, and then there's sensors back here. And this thing is actually reading your brain waves. And go ahead. and we can't show you it in real action, but basically you wear this, you turn this guy on, and it syncs with your smartphone, and then you do this quote meditation. Really what it is there, all of the meditations with Muse are really focusing on the breath, and it's measuring your brainwave activity from active to neutral to calm. And obviously you want to learn to be calm, right? So while you're doing this, your phone, your smart device is playing either music, or it might be a beach sounds, or a forest scene, or a storm, or rain, or storm, campfire. And what happens is when you're in a calm state, that background noise is really pleasant and just in the background. And if you're really calm, you get to hear birds chirping, chirp, 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 right? And when you get in an agitated state, right? Or sorry, an active state, I call it agitated. When you get into an active state, the sound, that background sound gets louder, and it gets more agitated and more angry. So that nice gentle breeze all of a sudden is like a windstorm. And then all of a sudden you're like, wait, I'm hearing a windstorm. I'm supposed to return to my breath. And then you return to your breath, and then the storm calms down, or the rain calms down, or the campfire calms down, or the music calms down, or whatever it is. And then chirp, chirp, you hear the birds again. So the goal is, what you're doing is you're training your brain to start to realize, I'm not in a calm state. And then you're also, when you realize you're not in a calm state, you're training yourself to go into the calm state. It's pretty awesome, because how many people are triggered at least once in a day? I know I am. And this training really of this brain, so you get triggered, right? That's the storm came on. I have techniques. I can go back to my breath. I can fill that space with breathing, right? And you can practice this throughout the day, but it really, the real point of doing gratitudes and surrounding yourself, with, like I said, gratitudes and thanks, the meditations, the prayers, the journaling, is really to remember to do it during the agitated state, right? The more we practice it, the more luck we have when we need to return, for sure.
And I think just doing it regularly. She asked how often do you use it?
Oh.
And we use it daily.
Yeah. I'd like to go to twice a day. I'm at once a day right now.
In the morning too.
Yeah, we do it in the evening together. We each have our own Muse headband, and I'd like to move it to the morning as well. I'd like to do two. I'm getting a lot of benefits from it, and I think you guys probably know, those of you that know me personally, or those of you that just kind of know me a little bit, probably already know that when we get the feed, so we get a report right after every session. Rachel has like 75% calm and 108 bird sounds, and it tells you all this stuff. I'm not joking. I'm in the longest calm state I've ever sustained is 3.8 seconds. And I've been doing this for a long time. In my sessions, and I do 15-minute meditation sessions with the Muse. In my sessions, the longest total amount of calm I've ever had is about 41 seconds total in 15 minutes. And the majority of my time is spent in the active state. I've worked hard, guys. I'm better than I used to be. I hope you agree with that.
You got to keep doing it, right? I mean,
thank you. That was a way to avoid. That was a way to avoid. So guys, listen, here's what we're going to do. You can go to choosemuse.com. Don't buy this from those guys.
I'll just show you guys Gadgets and Gizmos.
Yes.
If you click this link, when I share this, it'll have the link there too.
Yeah. So we have a link that gives you guys the best deal. So if Muse one day is like 50% off Black Friday, that link that we shared with you will be 50% off. At a normal, if there's no other deals going on, what's the discount? It's a pretty good one.
15%.
I think it's 15%.
Yeah.
I was going to say 20,
and they
but I
have
think she's
holiday
right.
deals, like you said.
Yeah. And you can just go through the link that we gave you. You don't have to search for the best deal. That link guarantees our people, you guys, the very best deal online of anywhere and everywhere. So make sure to take advantage of that no matter what.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, it's like, we train
Daniel. Yeah. Daniel, what about EMF with Muse? Absolutely. It's a very low EMF device. Yeah. So
yeah. I wonder if he's still here.
Yeah. Steve's still here. Yeah. So there's going to be an EMF, but they've gone out of their way to make sure that I don't know there's different levels of EMF, right? They're in the very, very, very lowest frequencies. And I don't know what that means, quite honestly, but it's
And
as
they might have more information on
yeah,
their
and they do have a
site,
ton
too.
of information online, a ton of information. So I thought the same thing, Daniel. You're thinking.
Mhm.
And by the way, welcome from Europe.
Yeah.
But absolutely, that's a great question.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And I think over time, it's like one of those things like this is like a bike with training wheels on it, right? Like getting your brain to like
Yeah.
just stay in its lane and just like calm down and just
Yep.
be. Eventually, you could try a couple sessions without it,
Yeah.
and just maybe even just like play a meditation or play something that's nice.
I'm gonna steal that
So,
back from you and put it back in its box.
yeah, I'll give it back here. Um,
I
Yeah.
would say if you do buy one, guys, like I said, go through the link that we give you to save tons of money. But also, this is just my 2 cents. I'm looking at the wrong camera. I would absolutely get a hard case. They come with a nice zippable hard case.
Oh,
We
yeah.
travel with ours. And honestly, I don't remember the last time I charged it. It must hold its charge like for 6 months or something. And we use them like daily.
And they have new ones now that are
Yeah.
even neater. They're like
Yeah.
soft.
What we just showed you was the first generation. They have second, third generations now.
Mhm.
Some of them measure more than just neurofeedback.
Yeah, they'll even start
Yeah.
doing your
Heart
heart and stuff.
and
So
breath and everything.
pretty
Mhm.
cool. Speaking of heart, I'm just going to tell you real quick about, and
Heart
then we'll
math.
go on to exercise. Yeah, heart math. Another fun. I feel like I'm on Good Morning America talking about gadgets. Heart math is basically it's heart rate variability.
Yep.
So it's like connecting your heart and your breath. And so it's a lot like Muse, but basically you're breathing and
On your screen, it's when you have the device clicked, it's measuring your heart rate variability. We used to think people that had a regular heart rate, just like clockwork, like a machine, were going to live the longest. So we developed pacemakers, right? People had arrhythmias, but pacemakers and people that make their heart click like this, just like a machine. We found out that that's not the way people's hearts work, that people with the most, not arrhythmias, but the most heart rate variability, tiny little fluctuations in the, maybe you're all of a sudden 88 beats per minute, 86 beats per minute, 87 beats per minute, 88, 89, 86, right? I mean, so fluctuate just a little bit in that heart rate variability. Those people live the longest and the healthiest.
Mhm.
So Heart Math came up with a device that connects to your smart device. When you're looking at the screen, you're breathing out, you're breathing in, you're breathing out, and it regulates your breath to your heart rate to a certain extent.
Mhm.
And you start to get that connection between your breath, your brain, your body. It's pretty cool.
Mhm.
And again, it's more tech, and I'm sure Steve has a lot of comments to be made since he's our EMF guy.
Right.
But again, this is another lowest EMF device that's out there.
Mhm.
So again, good stuff there.
Yeah. And I mean, the
Do we
goal
have-
is they call it coherence. You want to be like, I
Yeah.
don't know what that totally means. Still learning about it.
Do
but
we have a code? I don't think we have a code yet.
we don't have a code for that one.
Yet.
Mm-mm,
I
we're
will
still
get a
doing it.
code for you guys. So right now, whatever Heart Math, the devices, whatever you can find, that's what you can get.
Mhm.
I promise you, we will have a code for you guys to save some money. I wanted to
For
try out
sure.
the device before we endorse it, and we did endorse it.
Yeah.
Cool. And
Cool
by
stuff.
endorse it, again, we don't get paid for endorsing things. We just use it, and if we like it, we tell you guys about it and get you guys a discount code. That's the way we endorse things.
Mhm.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah. And if you guys have any cool things to share,
If you guys have
like
cool
that,
devices or anything too, by all means, drop them in the comments.
Yeah.
We would love to hear about that. I will say that our exciting time is coming to an end.
Yeah. Well, let's end with exercise.
Let's end
and
with
then,
exercise.
Your assignment here too. So yeah, exercise. We didn't do a live call on it yesterday, but Dan and I both did videos on our high intensity intervals. Great way to lower your stress with 4-minute Tabatas, they call them, or high intensity intervals. So, basically for exercise, it can be anything you want. That's just an awesome, easy way to get it in.
Yeah. And I think people sometimes think exercise has to be hard and take forever and you have to be at the gym for like 2 hours. Guys, if you do a 4-minute Tabata, which is 20 seconds on and 10 seconds off, and then so that's 30 seconds total, do 8 repetitions of that. And during your on activity, you could be running in place vigorously, like flash dance. You could be doing jumping jacks. You could be doing, burpees or mountain climbers or anything that works. We have a friend of ours, Mike, I like to say his name, Mike Sluislarchuk, that's in a wheelchair. He's a paraplegic, and he actually punches the air as vigorously as he can, you know? So anything works. I mean, and no excuses, guys. Anything works and no excuses.
I did have somebody say that high intensity intervals with Hashimoto's like can flare them. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I would say that that's possible. It's possible. That's probably somebody going from 0 to 100.
Yeah.
I would start slow, you know? So, I mean, maybe you just like march in place for 20 seconds. You're like, well, that didn't flare me. So maybe I'm going a little bit, you know, quicker in place. Then maybe I'm, you know, all of a sudden doing my, you know, whatever in place, but, you know, work your way up to it for sure. I would not go from 0 to 100. And I think that, you know, those are what we call the weekend warriors, where those people are going to get injured. What's going to flare up a hashies is going to be an injury. It's going to cause stress to the body. So just work your way up to it, listen to your body. And that's just good advice for everyone. Hashies or autoimmunity or not. Work your way up into it. You know, if you don't know if you can do it, don't do it. Work your way up to it. You have, you know, the rest of your life to get there, but do it every day, right? But do it every day.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And then of course, yoga, got our gal here doing some yoga.
And fibromyalgia can flare too. Yeah,
Yeah.
You're totally right. Start slow. All of those,
Yeah.
all of the inflammatory diseases, all of the autoimmune related. And the reason I said fibromyalgia is autoimmune related, guys, because we forget that fibromyalgia is actually CFIDS. It's it's CFIDS, chronic fatigue immunodeficiency syndrome, which leads to fibromyalgia. They're all definitely related.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, of course, work with somebody to get to the root causes and get on a plan so that you, can resolve as much as possible too. But
you don't need to run for 2 hours. You
No.
don't need to go down there and like hit the bag or whatever for, you know, 30 minutes. I mean, you can get all this done in 4 minutes a day. In fact, 4 minutes a day plus a little bit of yoga goes a long way. And I think that's a good way to do it.
Yoga,
Full disclosure, what
it.
was I doing before we got on this call? Like literally in the 10 minutes that I had. I was doing my Tabatas. Like I was doing hits right before we got on this call. I'm already done with my exercise for the day. I feel fantastic. I'm so happy about it because I got it done. Usually we do it in the evening, but we have some dinner plans with our kids, celebrating their success with their semesters being over at school. So awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I love yoga because
and Robin was doing hers too.
Hey, that's awesome. Yeah, it's good to do them earlier in the day. I think as much as possible, just burning off that because they can keep you up too. But I was just going to say yoga, you can get, I mean, if you do yoga outside, you got sunlight, you've got, well, you don't have oxytocin necessarily unless
you do it with somebody that you love.
Do it with somebody you love. And basically your yoga is a chance to be in a state of meditation and mindfulness and you're doing exercise. So yoga.
And then you're exercising. I had a picture of Sting from The Police doing what's called tantric yoga with his wife outside. So they're barely clothed. A lot of times they're not clothed. But you know, his body is ripped. He's like 70 years old and he's just ripped. And he's standing out, you know, doing something like this. She's been over in some kind of like modified triangle pose. And it's a pretty, it's not graphic by any means, but there's certainly some innuendo there. And they're basically fully, not quite, but almost unclothed. They've got the sun in, they're together and they're exercising. I was like, that's some right there. They embodied everything. I used to have that picture. I'm going to find that picture again, or we can recreate it.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Not right now. Too cold. Anyways, lots of fun ways to keep our stress down.
Guys, that's what you get when you're with us. You're going to get a lot of behind the scenes TMI. So
yeah. So on another note, anyways, I'm just teasing.
What's the assignment?
Yeah, assignment for you guys. So we want to hear ways you guys are managing your stress, basically your favorite ways to de-stress.
Yeah.
Did I do something?
No, I'm just.
Oh yeah. So I'll share a post and you just comment on that thread. We're going to give away some pretty cool prizes. Those of you that have invited people to our group, thank you. And then we're going to pick a winner tomorrow as well for another prize for those of you that have been on the calls and engaged with us and participating. So
awesome.
Who doesn't love that?
Awesome.
So just share your favorite ways to de-stress. Any fun, gadgets or things you use, you can share those too.
Yeah. And I would just say quickly while we're ending here too, we've had a lot of people reaching out about and I don't know that we make it super clear either how to do this, but a lot of people do reach out and say, hey, we'd like to work with you privately as a private person or a private client or a private patient. How do we do that? I know, because we're really secretive about it, right? Because we're really careful about who we work with. It's not like a go online, fill out a form, and now you're a patient. We'll see you Tuesday at 2. It's not the way it works with us. If you're interested in working with us privately, or if there's any private needs that you need, we're pretty readily available. You can DM us. You can drop a note in the comment like, hey, contact me, and we will contact you. And then we'll kind of walk you through and make sure that it's a good fit. Our big thing is we want to make sure that we want to make sure that we can help. I feel that we can help a lot of people, but if for some reason we're not the right fit, we'll know right away. But then we're able to tell you, hey, you know what? We don't want to waste your time, money, energy, et cetera. But here's some folks over here that we think can really help, and we can direct you to the right people. Guys, life is short. I mean, it's short. We're gone in a blink of an eye, and we want you to have the happiest, healthiest, and best, brightest lives that you can each have. And I want that for us too. So if you are interested, if you need some help, just reach out. We're here to help you guys.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, hopefully, you guys enjoyed our call today. I will
Stop sharing maybe.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't either.
I will be sure to post these things in the group after we're off the call here.
Cool.
And yeah, hopefully, we all go into the holidays.
Awesome.
Calm
and we're back together tomorrow, right?
And we're back together at 1 p.m. We're going to be chatting about getting restorative sleep and
maximizing sleep.
Maximizing your sleep.
Yep.
Sleep. So we'll see you then.
See you then. Same time, same channel. And I'm with you tomorrow, right?
Yep.
Awesome, guys. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Light and love always. Have a great rest of the day, and stay safe, stay healthy, and stay happy always. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.